As you're well aware, we're living in unprecedented times. Join us now for today's special program.
I want to spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life removing pain. Lord, let my words heal a heart that hurts. I want to spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life mending broken people.
Hello and welcome to another 3ABN Today program. Thank you for joining us as you do each and every day. And as always, I always like to say thank you for your love and your prayers and financial support of 3ABN as we endeavor to take this great gospel of the kingdom into all the world. What an incredible time to be alive in the closing moments of Earth's history. What do you think?
It is. This is an amazing time, and we're so blessed here at 3ABN to be able to highlight different ministries that have that vision as well. So we can carry the vision of the gospel to all the world.
What a great segue. The name Three Angels Broadcasting Network, and we just happen to have, well, we're going to call them guests, but they're brothers and sisters. And we'll start with Dr. Sandra Duran, and then also, of course, Dan Houghton. And Dan, you've been on almost much as I have on 3ABN. Over the years, Dan's been on a lot. But the program today that we're going to be talking about is Three Angels Messages for Kids. And so you can imagine that we're here at 3ABN, we're all excited about it, and we're pro what you're doing because that's where our name originated. And we'll call you Sandy now, okay? Yeah. Instead of doctor, we could do that, but I'm intimidated by doctors, so if I could just call you Sandy, that'll be fine. Now, before I go any further, though, Sandy, let's talk about who she is.
Okay.
Now, she made somebody very well known. She has a brother.
That's right.
Now, you probably never heard of him, but your brother's Mark Finley. So if those have never heard of Mark Finley, this is his famous sister.
That's right.
So that's the way it's going to be from now on after this. After this program, they're going to be saying, oh, yeah, let's see, Mark, isn't your sister Sandra? That's the way they'll do it. But so we're very thankful that you're here.
Thank you.
And the project that you're doing, the Three Angels Messages for Kids, is incredible. But when we started a network, 37 years ago, I had was looking for a name, dreamed about it, and in the dream I saw the world and I saw three angels flying around it. And basically it was like three angels broadcasting, each angel was blowing a trumpet. So it was Three Angels Broadcasting. To tell you the truth, Dan, and you knew me back then because we met in 1985 when I was telling in Big Sky, Montana, I was trying to tell the story, and you were recording it, Dan, and Karen had their little cassettes, players.
We recorded this testimony the first time he gave it at ASI.
That's right,
Really?
ever. 1985.
He said he heard it back, too, one time.
Oh, and I'd have never supported me. When I heard that, I said, oh, boy, I would have never. So it had to have been the Lord.
But there was a miracle in that, Danny. I just got to comment on it. That was supposed to have been free time that Friday afternoon.
That's true.
And a lady came up with Danny and said, I want to hear this man's testimony, but I want a recording of it. You remember that?
Oh, okay.
And I said, yeah, we can do that because there's not a meeting on Friday afternoon. And we'll just go in, because I had the PA system, I had the recording system. And so we made arrangements, and then it rained. And 250 people show up to hear you record for that one lady. And that tape went wild, and that started things off.
Wow,
yeah, it was a tremendous, to catapult us out there so people knew who we were. And so incredible. So thank you. And that
well, I just was in the right place, the right time, like you have.
The tape went around the world.
Yes, it did.
But I was impressed to build a station called Three Angels Broadcasting.
Okay.
But I didn't really. I was a Seventh-day Adventist, raised. My mother became an Adventist when I was actually the year I was born. That was 1951. I don't mind telling. I'm proud of it. 1951, the year I was born, and so. I was raised an Adventist, but I could have, argued with people about the Sabbath. I use that word argue, or the state of the dead, or debated them, but really the three angels, I just didn't really catch all of that.
Yeah.
So once I was impressed to build a station and name three angels, I said, I better study the three angels' messages. And then, of course, I found it's all about Jesus and his love for fallen man.
Right.
And so that's what it's all about.
Amen.
And nobody presents that better than your brother, Mark Finley.
Yep.
So
Right.
we're so thankful and been working with Mark all these years, and now glad that we get to work with you.
Yeah, now we're doing it for kids.
That's right. So a little bit, why don't we're just going to get into it. Maybe Dan, tell us how
Well,
this
the
project got started and how Sandra got involved and all
I'll
of that.
do that, but the first thing I got to say, Danny, is I am so excited about what's happening that I want you to know I wore my happy socks.
Oh,
Okay.
Let's see 'em.
Here's my happy socks. If the camera sees
Pull the
that.
pant leg up a little
Okay,
bit.
there we go. I just want you to know that I am extremely happy. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh,
But
there they got
there
one.
they are.
go.
Oh, they
all right, they got it.
There you go.
They got
Okay.
it. But I just am so happy and excited about what is happening. Now, I'll tell you where this started. There was a group of people that started to come together because our friend Rusty McKee had been getting on us about, hey, we got to do something on the Three Angels messages. And at ASI in 2018, and you weren't there, but you were watching live, I remember, because we actually had the posters. We decided to send posters to every classroom. And you have those. I saw them up back here in the studio. We had that, and it's the first time I can ever remember, and I've been to ASI every year since '83 until this year. This is the first year Karen and I missed. But that was the first time I've ever remembered people rushing the stage. When we finished that, basically Rusty and Mark Finley and myself were interviewed by Steve on stage Sabbath afternoon. The stage was rushed, we were done, they wanted to see the pictures. And we said, okay, if we're going to put these in schools, the next thing we need to have some curriculum. And so we began a process, and we had several people get involved, good people that were helping us get going, but it just wasn't quite gelling right. We had to connect with the North American division that wanted all the schools to have it. And after we had gone for about, probably 9 months or so, we were wrestling with it. And Mark Finley, Sandy's brother, was out in California with us for an event. He had written the 13 presentations that later became Three Cosmic Messages, which we recorded here in partnership with you. And at that time, we were saying, what are we going to do to get a curriculum done? And it just so happened, he said, Sandy, my sister, is a curriculum specialist in Adventist education, has written curriculum, has been an educator as a teacher, as a principal, as an education superintendent, has written curriculums. And so we got on the phone with her over the next couple of days, and we began talking with her. And she was at a point in her life, kind of a transitionary point. And so we said, hey, what would you think about joining our team at Heart Research Center and helping us found a new ministry called Three Angels for Kids that would actually take the Three Angels messages and make it available in schools. Danny, just like you said, you grew up in the Adventist church, but you didn't know it.
Not really.
And there's a lot of kids today, how are they going to know
That's right.
what's going on? And so basically, we sat down and started talking, and Sandy will tell you some of her responses to that, but bottom line, she's here, so you know she said yes. But she started with a blank piece of paper, and we created what we're going to share with you today from scratch, and I will just tell you I'm so gratified with the responses we're getting from schools around North America. And even there are people, you'll hear as we talk about this, people from around the world. We have people signing up and taking classes on Hope Lives 365's website from around the world. 250, I think, with the last time we had 250 people participating. So we just sense it's really, really awesome. But I want to say one thing before we jump into this, because I'm afraid we won't have time at the end if I don't do it now. Can I do that?
Sure.
We also were on here with you shortly after we did the 4 posters.
Right.
And I had, if you remember that interview, you were both doing the same interview. We had the Larry Blackmer from North American Division Office of Education, plus a couple teachers. Well, we had been talking about trying to get art up. Well, we actually created a series of 7 paintings with Nathan Green on the days of creation. You also have a set of those up here in that hallway.
Beautiful.
Well, we had some donors that came and said, we would like to make those available in schools because there's a group of us that say we've got to get our kids thinking. There are so many things to distract them. We've got to get them visually engaged in thinking about such things as Three Angels Messages and creation, which is a part of Three Angels Messages. So what we have done is we made an offer, and we partnered with the North American Division of Education. They sent a letter out to every teacher a year and a half ago, and we said, if you want to write a little essay about why creation is important, we will give you a set of these nice Giclées in a floating frame ready to hang on the wall. We've had 220 of those hung, and I think they have pictures.
Wow.
In fact, you'll see those on the screen now. These are a few of the schools that have sent us back pictures of how they've done it in their schools.
Oh, that's
Well,
nice.
one of the things I just want to say here today is that we have just made arrangements for an additional 125 sets of these.
Wow.
And I want to give your viewers an opportunity to say, if you have a church school in your area, call and say, hey, do we have this set of pictures? And if you don't, be aware that there's an email coming from your educational superintendent.
Yes.
It's going to give you an opportunity, and the first 125 schools that respond and write the essay are going to get these free to hang in their schools.
We happen to have a church school here.
Yes, we do. Yes, we
Inside
do.
track.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
you're one of the first to know, but I want people to ask the teachers, ask their principal, do we have it? If we don't, we need it, and it's available at no cost.
Take just a moment for our viewers who are not familiar. I didn't paint these pictures. I didn't do them. Tell us a little bit about
Nathan Green
the
is
artist.
an incredible artist.
He is.
And he paints, in fact, there's a picture right over here that is one of his in your studio.
Yes.
Nathan specializes in bringing things to life out of Scripture especially. And the Lamb of God, which is the one you have over here on the wall. But he was commissioned about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, to create the days of creation. One for every day. And he has become one of the preeminent artists in the world. Top 3 in inspirational art. And he went from, in the last 25, 30 years, he has gone from doing illustrations to being one of the finest fine art painters. And he did these 7, and we didn't even realize, this is how God works. We didn't realize we were going to be doing the Three Angels Messages project after this. And now it was all ready to go when we needed it. And they are out there. We have them in our colleges. All of our universities have access to them in a larger format. But we're trying to draw people's attention to creation because that's in the first angel's message.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would it be okay? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I was just going to say, would it be okay for our viewers, because most of our viewers worldwide are not part of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Probably we're guessing 95, 98% of our worldwide viewers.
Sure.
But the Three Angels Messages, short in a nutshell, found in Revelation 14. And so let me do this in a sentence or two. It's an end times message to the world about what's going to happen. You can have peace in the midst of the storm if you understand the Three Angels message. It's God's love story. He's giving you in advance so you can see into the future. And no matter, so I tell people, and I've been telling them for years, they'll talk about the times we're living in and all of these things. And I say, I'm not concerned. I've read the back of the book. They have read Revelation, have read the Three Angels Messages. So you may want to look into that. We have information here. You're going to get a lot of information today because it's a love message, a warning message to a lost and dying world, but it gives each and every one of us, lets us know God loves and cares and has a plan for us to spend eternity with Him. It's one of the most beautiful messages in all the world because it's really Jesus. And Jesus is telling us in beautiful terms. And so I love the Three Angels Messages. As I said, I didn't know about that. I knew about dark, but to see the love of God and how He would foretell that so that we now, living in the end times, can look at it and say, wow, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, Danny, just a response to that, that's what this project's all about. We want kids being able to understand that the back of the book is filled with hope.
All right.
And we're very excited about what's happened. And maybe Sandy, whenever you're ready, she can share how she responded when we challenged her with this idea.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes. So I didn't expect to get this phone call, and when I got it and I was asked to write this curriculum, my first thought was, I don't know if I can do this. I mean, to write the Three Angels Messages for kindergartners and all the way up. And I was going to actually turn it down, and then I said, let me pray about this, and I prayed about it, and that night when I was sleeping, a little poem came into my head.
Okay.
And when I woke up, I grabbed a pencil and I wrote it down exactly how God gave it to me, and it became our first book, and we have a picture of it here that we can show you. That's the cover, and then we have a picture of the inside of it. But I literally, Danny, I wrote it down exactly how God gave it to me, and word for word, that's this book. And kids now love it, and we actually have a videotape of a couple of kids that when they're school, and you want to tell about their school, Dan came on this school, and the kids had already memorized it. They were so excited.
The whole first grade, the whole kindergarten class had memorized the entire book, and they recited it for us. You'll see this here. By the way, this is the Greenville Adventist Academy in Greenville, Tennessee. They are teaching it from K through 12.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we'll show the video.
All right.
And that was my sign from God that, yeah, you can do this.
Yes,
You know, because
yes.
He just gave me that exact poem. So I don't know if they want to put it up, and you can see a little video.
3 angels in the sky, oh my, oh my, oh my. Ready, let's begin the story. First angel, give God the glory. He's always fair and good and true. He'll do what's right for me and you. He made the earth and outer space. Now go and tell in every place. Second angel, the city's going down. Watch out, be safe, get out of town. Third angel, be patient, trust Jesus in light and in dark. He'll always protect you like Noah in the ark. 3 angels in the sky to show the love of God on high. And when their story's said and done, we'll all look up and see God's Son.
So how could I say no to God when He gave me that?
Good.
I just wrote it down word for word, and it just turned into the book, and now kids are all loving it. So I said, okay, God, I will do this, but you have to lead me, you know, of course. And so every time I wrote something, I didn't know what I was going to write next. I didn't want to know. It was too scary. I mean, pre-K, it turned out to be pre-K through senior year in high school.
Wow.
I mean, our final unit, we teach the kids how to be an evangelist, and they go out and teach this themselves. But I didn't even do the grade levels in order. Whatever God gave me next, right when I was finishing one grade level, I was starting to get really nervous. He'd put it in my head, and when it was time to go back and start writing, I knew what I was going to do for the next grade level.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Look
yeah.
at how God provided
Yeah.
for you. He was really giving you that boost
It
of
was.
faith as well.
Yes.
Letting you know that I've got you. I'm going to walk you through
Yes.
the whole process.
Very
That is
validating to
so
my faith,
beautiful.
to my faith personally.
Yes,
Yes.
and to
yes.
take something like the 3 angels' messages, which, as Danny said, most people don't know.
Yeah.
Adults don't even know.
Yeah.
And to break it down for kids, like the city is going down.
I know.
I love
I was like, what am I going to do for, you know,
Yeah,
Babylon has fallen,
has fallen,
you know? And we
yeah.
just teach the little ones. If there's
Yeah.
trouble, get out of there.
Exactly.
Get
It's
out of there.
great.
If someone tries to tell you to break one of God's commandments, get out of there. That's all they have to know at that young age.
That's right.
You
that's
know?
right. You know what's interesting to me too is our kids are being so indoctrinated
Yes.
in public schools with just stuff that is just so anti-God.
Yes.
And here we have something that is so biblical
Yes.
that we can give children so that they understand what's going on. We are giving them
Yes.
truth, counteracting the counterfeit, so to speak.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's such a blessing.
And you know what's exciting too is we had a school that piloted everything, and none of their children were Seventh-day Adventists. And those kids loved it and wanted to start keeping the Sabbath and everything. So it worked even for kids who are not Adventists.
So
in
it's
their
kind of an
families.
evangelistic tool
Yeah.
as well.
It is. It is.
So what about children who are in public schools, whose parents want them to have this
Sure.
curriculum? Is this available
You know
to
what?
anyone?
Now that you should mention that,
Mm-hmm.
the ink is barely dry, but just before I came here, I just finished tweaking this to make it really homeschool ready.
Oh,
So you'll have to watch
that's
our
great.
website. Be sure you subscribe to our website, 3angelsforkids.com, because we'll let you know. But this homeschool edition is
Yes.
now in production.
It is.
praise the Lord.
We want every child, every parent, every grandparent that wants to make sure their young people, you know, in fact, the Shema, I got to talk about the Shema. You know, our Jewish brothers and sisters have the Shema where they quote Deuteronomy 6:4, our God is one God, our God is one Lord. The Shema for the Seventh-day Adventist Church is fear God and give glory to Him, for the hour of His judgment has come, the three angels' messages. And if we want to give our kids exposure to that, we have created the way for that to happen so that they're not afraid. They're not freaked out about it. Sandy will talk about that. We're getting feedback that this grace-filled way of doing this, which still calls for obedience and understanding the big issues, the kids are responding and they're not afraid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kids love it. The kids love it. Now, I've actually had teachers come to me when I do teacher training. You know, I've done teacher trainings all over the NAD already, and this has just come out, and there's such a big interest. I've had teachers come to me in tears saying, I wish we had this when I was younger. You know, because some people have grown up with a fear about it.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I actually created a mission statement, if you want to put that up, to remind myself why I'm doing it. And so my mission, I'm here to help students be ready for Jesus to come and to understand last day events in the context of love, not
Yes.
That's
Yes.
great.
fear. And people just love that.
Yes.
And we have our poster too, if you want to take a look. How do you teach the three angels' messages to children? So if you want to show that poster, I've had a lot of people say, I wish we have this for adults, you know. So it's very basic, you know. Angel 1, I don't know, can you read it there, Dan, if you want to read it?
I can't, I have to read it clearly.
Okay, yeah.
I can't see that. I have to admit it. Danny, we thought Danny was the only one, but I have to admit I can't read it either. I can see the big picture, but
Small. I hope the viewers can read it.
Yeah.
But, you know, when we say fear God, it doesn't mean to be afraid of Him, of course. So, Angel 1, how do you teach the judgment to little children? You teach the judgment. God is always fair. Trust Him.
Yes.
He will do what's right. So it's very broad brush.
Yes.
You know, Angel 2, don't listen to people when they tell you to do something wrong. Angel 3, use your mind to listen for God's voice. Use your hands to do what God wants you to do. Be patient. Have faith. Trust Jesus.
Yes.
There's the three angels' messages for kids.
Yes.
There you go.
See, that to me, this is huge because it's a crossover. And when I'm talking about that, our goal and our mission as Seventh-day Adventist Christians is to reach the world. And 3ABN, we always say, with an undiluted three angels messages, one that would counteract the counterfeit. So what you're doing is I mentioned earlier, I heard about three angels, but kind of scary. But we actually, 2 or 3 years ago, we commissioned some people to do literally a music CD, but one of the most well-known, would you say, in America, maybe around the world, gospel, you know, songwriters. He said, well, I don't know anything about it, so I want you to read it. Now, of course, he said, this is such a beautiful message. But here's the thing. He said, we need this because our churches, we go and we read everything except that. We won't read Daniel Revelation because it's too scary.
Right.
So what you're doing is you're showing Jesus in Daniel Revelation just like you would get it in John.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody loves any denomination. They love Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But Daniel Revelation, we're scared of it. So what you're doing is you're centering this all around Jesus and this love for fallen man.
Yeah.
So to me, Dan, this thing should be going to church, any Christians everywhere. I mean,
Yes.
we might look at possibilities and even do a program of getting people involved from other churches because this is so important.
That's right. I
Get
just
it
preached
out.
a sermon, 5 Reasons to Celebrate the Judgment.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
well, and Danny, you're exactly right. We're trying not to jump ahead of ourselves because we've done that before and it's not too good. But we think that there is unlimited potential for this. We're trying to get it in our schools first, our homeschoolers, our families, and I think there are many Christians
Yes.
who out there are saying we have this, but there's something missing.
That's right.
Well, just maybe we can guide them to a little chapter in Revelation called Revelation 14, verses 6 through, and we can do it from a very basic level for the kids that even adults, you know, that poster that Sandy had up a minute ago, we boiled it down. You know, it takes a lot more work to boil it down to a few words than to expand it with lots of words.
Very true.
And it's boiled down, and so we think that it has huge potential, and only God knows how far this will go. I just want to make sure that we don't stand in the way.
No. And your timing, you know it's God, and like He impressing you to do it.
Yeah.
The reason we know, because we're excited, because this is life experience that we're experiencing. There's another, I won't give his name, but everybody would know it. To me, one of the world's most renowned pianists, and does gospel music, does all kinds of music. He's been talking to us. He calls us and says, we want to know what's happening and for the future. And he says, well, we're going to be raptured out. We don't have to worry about any of that, right? And so when we give him the news, no, it's like, oh, no, I don't want to go through the tribulation. Are you kidding me? You know, we said no. So we're studying, and what we're finding out, the back of the book, that's the most beautiful part of it all, is knowing the future. The three angels' messages, when you understand that, now you go through and you're not going to be discouraged. If you think you're not going through any tribulation, as soon as the devil hits you on, it's like, this is no fun, I'm going to back away. So knowing the back of the book and reading it. So this, to me, that's why this thing, Dan, there's a reason the three angels, it's a last day warning message to a last day generation on planet Earth. So putting it together, whether it's music like we've done, John Loma King's little book, this for kids.
And you did a song for children too that broke down the Trinity.
Yeah.
Which was really,
music is powerful.
It's amazing. It is amazing. The thing that is standing out to me too is that you are actually vindicating God's character. You're showing who God really is. He's not a boogeyman. He's a God of love, and you're showing this to children. You don't have to be afraid of Him. He loves you. And so this is so important because it's showing who God really is.
Yeah, you know, I did, through Hope Lives 365 online, I did a whole week of prayer for kids around the world. We had over 200 devices tuning in from around the world. And I put up some emojis and I asked kids, pick one that shows how you feel about the judgment. And it was anonymous, an anonymous poll. And most children picked the crying face. And when I was finished with the week of prayer, I asked them again and they picked the heart. I was so happy.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's beautiful.
The impact on kids is amazing. And that's one thing, you know, Sandy has been training all these teachers, and by the way, we have full conferences that are deploying this, but not everybody is yet because it's pretty new. But the impact on kids, and I'm really looking forward to her continuing to share about that, because we want you to see well, you saw the kids give their recite, but there are some other kids that have dug into it a little deeper, a little older, and it's pretty amazing.
Just walk us through. I'm getting
old.
We've got a lot of information to get through to us,
great.
pictures and videos, whatever you got.
Let's look at the components of what we have. So let's take a look at the pre-K through 2. And we have beautiful artists. This is a couple from Brazil that is doing all our artwork. Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
So we have our two what we call anchor texts, God Makes a Plan and Three Angels in the Sky, for our pre-K through 2. And we actually have them make paintings, and we have some pictures of the kids when I was piloting this, doing their paintings, and they love it. And we have them do crayon resist, and we teach them, what does it mean to resist? Well, I can ask you, what does it mean to resist?
Or to avoid, or...
Yeah. So if you're doing a crayon resist, if you do your crayon on the paper and then you do a watercolor wash, the paper is going to resist the crayon. So if you make a white cloud, you'll still see that white cloud, but the paper will absorb the rest of the color. So when we teach them that, then we go to the text, resist the devil and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God and he will draw nigh to you. So we teach them, how do you resist and how do you do a crayon resist? And they make these beautiful books, and it turns out that parents love them. They're their own. The books are called Three Angels for Me. And so they illustrate and they make their paintings. I had one parent that hugged the book close to herself. She said, oh, I'm going to keep this forever. So that's something about our pre-K through 2. Then take a look at our grades 3 and 4. We have a story about a little girl by the name of Beth, and her life just keeps tying into the Three Angels' messages somehow. It starts where she had been going to the science fair and her poster is blown out of her hands and she's crying and she's embarrassed and she doesn't want to go back to school because her poster is messed up. And when she finally goes back, the school is clapping. She, what's going on? They have retrieved the poster and they have cleaned it up. And the teacher says, this is a good introduction to the Three Angels for kids. I mean, the Three Angels Messages. I'm saying my own name of my company. I like it so much. But anyway, she says, what do you mean? And then the teacher talks about how Jesus takes the mistakes that we make and makes it beautiful again.
Okay.
And then the little girl has gotten the date wrong. She said, well, that's okay, but I missed the science fair. Oh, no, you got the date wrong. Oh, that ties into the Three Angels Messages as well. And then they talk about the great disappointment. So it all ties in through the book. And I actually have a 3rd and 4th grade teacher who wanted to say a little validating something here. These are our 5th and 6th grade materials, but if we have the video, we can show you the teacher that wanted to say something about it that was in the pilot, that really loved it when she taught it to 3rd and 4th graders. I don't know if you can pull that up.
Sure.
Now.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
All
great.
right, let's take a look.
There was a lot to love about the unit, and I want to start with, I loved how you made the Three Angels Message accessible to children. I felt like a lot of them had no idea what the Three Angels Message was. When we did our initial writing piece where they were supposed to talk about the Three Angels Message, most of them said, I don't know. Yesterday we redid, and a lot of them wrote like almost a full page on the things that they've learned about the Three Angels Message. So they were really able to internalize it and understand its meaning. A couple of my students were so excited about the message that they went home and on their own started studying the book of Revelation and specifically the Three Angels Message. And then a couple of days later, one of them came back and he was so excited because he went even farther and said, there's more to this story.
Yeah, and I think that was a little boy that was not a Seventh-day Adventist that was so excited. So, and by the way, that's West Coast Christian Academy. That was April Nowotny, 3rd and 4th grade teacher down in Florida, where I live. Yeah, and then I think they did show you our 5th and 6th grade materials, so we can take a peek at those again. But those are booklets. There are 10 booklets, and they are actually in sets of 2. And so the students read those 2 booklets, and then they get a question that has to do with the Three Angels Messages. And so they tie it all together. And you might be interested to know that the first booklet, Lost in the Jungle, is about my brother, Mark Finley, when he was a student missionary, and he got lost in the jungle before the days of internet or email or texting or anything.
GPS.
Yeah, exactly. His job as a young student missionary was to push somehow to get an ambulance through the jungle to Manaus. And I mean, they went in the middle of places where there were no other human beings. Finally, they came across some kind of an indigenous tribe there, and Mark did some kind of a barter because he hadn't had food for days. And so that we tie into bringing the gospel to the whole world.
Okay.
And then the companion piece to that is about an older man, Abram LaRue, who brought the gospel to China. And then we asked them, what does it take to be a missionary? What does it take? You know, and it's not about age, that's for sure.
You'll notice that there are 10 of those.
Yes.
And that is an important point. These are set for a 2-week curriculum.
Yes.
Okay, so the teacher can put these into many different slots because each one's going to take at least 2 weeks. Sometimes they'll stretch it if they like it.
Yeah, that was good that you brought that up. Yeah, it's fully endorsed by the NAD, North American Division. Sorry about the alphabet soup. But it is fully endorsed by the North American Division. They are very excited about it. And it's something that a teacher can just pick up. And for 2 weeks, they get a break. They can take a breath because we provide everything. So it's very easy to do it. And it's nice. Some people like to do it right before Christmas break or something, you know, just to have a little time to relax, and we give you everything. I have a heart for teachers because I was an associate superintendent for 15 years, so we give it to you. And homeschoolers, we have your special edition as well. If you want to take a look at grades 7 and 8, grades 7 and 8, our sponsors said this is the grade level. We want the whole enchilada, a lot of detail in here. And so we integrated this one with social studies.
Okay.
So the students actually do a report where they look through history and find a time when a government was mixing church and state, and it didn't go well because God is the supreme ruler, and so they do a comparison.
But this is the complete message in grades 7 and 8.
Complete.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Good.
Yeah, if you want to show a picture, we have a student debate, and so we have the students debate. Can your lawyer and your judge be the same person?
Okay.
And then, of course, we talk about in the conflict of the ages, the conflict of the interest is the best thing because our lawyer and our judge is the same person. He's on our side. He wants us to win.
That's right.
Okay, and we have a little clip also from a boy here. Again, this is West Coast Christian where he did a lot of our piloting. That just a short little thing that this little boy has to say that I think your viewers will like to see.
I learned about the three angels' messages. Now I'm ready for Jesus to come.
Yeah,
precious.
Yeah, so that's the elementary school, and then we have grades 9 through 12. When I finished writing the elementary, I was like, oh, am I going to be done? And they said, well, you need to do one for high school. And then I started thinking, you know what, I don't even know if I told you this, Dan, but I thought, I'm going to make this easier. I'll just call it a micro unit. Well, then once I did that, I ended up having to write 4 micro units and then 1 full semester. So the last one, we teach you how to be an evangelist. What I did is I took Mark Finley's 3 Cosmic Messages book, and I watched all his videos, and I'm a qualitative researcher. I love qualitative, you just kind of look at something and draw out your themes. And I thought, what is he doing to make this effective preaching? And then we teach the kids, have an awareness of your audience, all of that. And then they go on and do their own 3 Cosmic Messages evangelistic series. So the high school is where we do our deep dives.
Yes.
Deep dives, yeah.
There's one for every year, plus the honors unit is that last one for the serious students, and it could actually be a college preaching class. It's that good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It can be a college preaching
Like
class.
homiletics?
On homiletics, it lays out all, and it shows video examples. I just want to say, Sandy has recorded these stories in audio, so it's audio-visual. This is not just print.
Okay.
And so we will actually show a clip out of the presentation we taped right here at 3ABN of Mark preaching.
Right.
Okay.
And it'll say, here's what he's doing. Take note of this. So you're going to need to put that component into your presentation.
Nice.
And this is a complete thing. So when you get done, we should talk to some of the colleges about giving some college credit for this because it's that good.
Oh, yeah. That'd be
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
we have one school that has done it. Remember, you suggested
Yes.
that school. What was the name of that school?
That school is one of our supporting ministry schools, Steve Dickman's Academy up in
Harbor Hills.
Harbor Hills. And they actually had their kids go out, train with this, and go out and conduct evangelistic series using those 13 presentations from 3 Cosmic Messages.
Okay.
And they have kids from all different countries, so they each did it in their own language for their language group. Yeah.
How has this impacted you?
Wow, me personally, it's been very faith building, and I've had some other experiences with building my faith through it. One thing was that years ago, I wrote a little book called, what's the second book now? God Made the World. God Makes a Plan. God Makes a Plan. And when I made that book, I chose certain pictures only because, if you're an amateur photographer, once in a while you get it right, but you can't count on yourself to get it right, So I had a really good picture of a tiger, and I had a really good picture of an ape. So I put in the book, apes gazed, tigers blazed. Well, when we did this program, we decided to use that, but we have a wonderful designer, Mark Bond is our art designer, and so he got some really good professional pictures. Well, we put in some Nathan Green pictures, and if you look at those pictures that you have there on the wall, and God is making man, who is looking on at the side? On one side is an ape, and on one side is a tiger. And here, years ago, I wrote this little book, and it said, apes gaze, tigers blaze, and God was preparing for that.
Yeah.
So there were so many things, and since you asked that, I do want to tell you another one that happened was when I wrote the book about the little girl, her life keeps becoming like something connected to the 3 angels' messages. I thought, I want to have her dad be a police officer with a Sabbath problem, somebody. And I remembered that 30 years before, at least 30 years before, I guess I'm giving away my age here, but there you go. Now it's out there.
You're among friends.
Right. My husband's a pastor, and a member of his church was a police officer with a Sabbath problem. And again, this would always come to my head in the night when I was sleeping. So the next morning I said, Eric, do you happen to remember when you had this police officer that had Sabbath problems? And his jaw was to the floor. I said, what? And he said, I have not thought about that for decades, but yesterday I found the file. He gave me a file that thick.
Wow.
And I went through all of that paperwork and wrote that chapter. So those are 3 different things that I've told you today. So it's been very faith building. It's been very humbling. I tend to be an extrovert, and I said, it's all Dan's fault. I was quarantined before it was even a thing, because I've been in a chair
An
writing.
extrovert or an introvert?
No, I'm a natural extrovert, and I've been writing for years now.
Year and a half. She's been behind that screen working.
Yeah, and before the pandemic even happened, I was quarantined because I was writing. So it's been very humbling.
Yes.
Because it's like, okay, you know, you're just behind the scenes, just doing your writing, just be good, just do it, don't get out of the chair. God's got to work for you to do. So that's been, you know, quite an interesting part of it.
Yes.
But we've had a big interest, not just among church schools, has been, you know, we've had the homeschool market. We even have some pictures of homeschoolers. And you know, this has gone so well. These are actually the grandchildren of our project assistant. This has gone so well. We've hired Yvette Cooper to be our project assistant, and her daughter, Nina, homeschools her children. And so we wanted to show these little homeschool children. You see the little one and all of them. Yeah, so we have a very big interest. And again, we have our online classes, we have our North American division endorsement, so that it's just going in so many directions. I don't know, should we tell them about the animations at all?
Well, we can do that in just a second, but before we get to the animations, I think it would be cool to just talk about the different experiences you've had, Sandy, in the different conferences where you've been working with teachers. Give a few reports on a couple of teachers.
Yes, yes, yes. That has been very exciting. You know, with the pandemic, there has been a different kind of response. How do you do these trainings? But some ways, you know, it works out better because you can do more maybe than you could. But I've done some in person, and we've done some Zoom meetings with teachers, and people are very grateful. They are thanking me, you know, every time I do this. And actually, we do have a video of myself doing a Zoom, and this was in the Southwest Regional Conference. And the Southwest Regional Conference, I really have to hand it to them because they got behind this. This was Buford Griffith, is their superintendent. Do you know him?
I was in college with him.
Oh my goodness, he's a go-getter. He jumped right on this thing, I tell you what, and he said, we're going to do it. We're going to do it for everybody. We're going to do it conference-wide. Every teacher is going to start the school year for this. Not only that, he said, we're going to get the pastors involved. So he said, because they're going to need to work with people. And so the pastors and the teachers came on Zoom. And you know what? That was for a whole day, practically, because what I did was we had everybody together. I gave them the philosophy. I gave them the overview. And then, okay, pre-K through 2, stay on. And we worked with them. We put them in separate Zoom rooms. They got involved in different activities we had them do. And then we would have the 3rd and 4th graders. Yeah, so we do have the clip of
we should see that
the
clip.
pastor that was validating this whole thing.
Good.
Elder Griffin, can I say real quick, man? Yes, I really enjoyed the presentation. I think this is fantastic. I can't say enough about it in terms of the value it would be for us in children's ministries. And I suspect that because it's contextualized for the kids, it's going to benefit a lot of adults too, because they'll work their way with progressive revelation from understanding the basics, moving on up. So much success to this program.
Amen.
Yeah, so
it used to be my conference when I was in
that
Dallas.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Southwest.
We were pretty impressed with how they jumped on this. They when you do something like this, you really appreciate it when someone recognizes what it is.
Yes.
And they did.
Yeah.
Now, there's been others. I mean, I look at North Pacific. I look at different areas around our country and teachers. Sandy will tell me about the teachers, and sometimes I will have opportunity to hear from them. And it's just like, finally, we have something that is within our own belief structure. We're not having to rewrite something somebody else did somewhere.
Right.
And this is talking about the core issue.
Yes.
And so that has been very rewarding to me, and I know to Sandy as well.
Yes.
Yeah, something else I did because I have a heart for teachers and I have a heart for teaching children to read. You know, I never planned on getting a doctorate or anything like that in our family. My dad was actually a high school dropout because he was just passed around from relative to relative. He went to 17 schools in 11 years. He had a very hard background, but then he started his own business and everything. But I never planned on getting a doctorate. But it turned out that my own son was struggling to read, and I was trying to figure my own son out, and that's why I went and ended up getting a degree in special education on the doctoral level. So I just have this passion for kids that are trying to learn to read and teachers that are trying to figure out what to do about it. So there is curriculum embedded in this is the Bible and teaching children to read and teaching children to become better writers is all in it. And when I did the 3rd and 4th grade, you know, I'm coming along, I had the idea for this book, God put it in my mind. In fact, I'm writing a sequel now that he put in my mind. I got about 5 chapters in and God said, you know what, Sandy, there could be some kids in that class that are struggling readers. I thought, now what am I going to do? And I was using a tool. It's called Flesh Kincaid that you can put any piece of writing in and see what grade level you're writing at. And the reason I was using it.
I don't want to do that. Forget what she said. Don't look at my books and grade them on that.
What would be your guess? What do you think that, like Reader's Digest or something like that, what do you think the average reading level for the average person is on?
That's like a grade level now.
Yeah, what grade level do you think?
Like 6 to 8 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Bing, bing. Good for you. Yeah, yeah. Like Reader's Digest, anything like that is a 7th grade.
Yeah.
7th grade reading level is what they're
Really?
pitched to. Anything for adults is usually a 7th grade reading level.
Now, I haven't been reading the Reader's Digest lately.
But your average magazine or something, 7th grade.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know, how do I write something for 3rd and 4th? So what I did was I read a lot of books on 3rd and 4th, so I was thinking like that. And then I would write a chapter, then I would put it into Flesh Kincaid, and it would tell me, like 3.2, okay, I'm on. That's 3rd grade, 2nd month.
Wow.
But if it was too high, then you'd have to do 2 things. You have to take the vocabulary down, and you have to take the sentence structure down. And then if it was too low, you have to bring it up. So I did that for 5 chapters, and the Lord said, well, Sandy, you got to write it on a lower reading level now. And I'm like, you're as bad as Dan, keeping me chained to this chair. So then I did. I wrote those first 5 chapters on a 2nd grade reading level. I kept getting it down to very basic vocabulary. And then after that, the book is 20 chapters long. Every time I did a chapter, I did it in 3rd and 4th, and I did it in 2nd grade. Well, then the Lord said, but Sandy, there could be some gifted readers in that class. I was like, ah. So then I wrote it a 3rd time. So if you order our 3rd and 4th grade curriculum, it's written on a 2nd grade reading level, it's written on a 3rd and 4th grade reading level, it's written on a 5th and 6th. So those multi-grade, I've had multi-grades, somebody in a one room, say it for me.
One room schoolhouse.
Thank you. Did that curriculum, and every kid loved it, like they get so excited about it. In those booklets for grades 5 and 6, it's the same thing. They're written on 3 different reading levels inside the booklets. And the reason teachers like it is that they don't have to give you a different passage to read. We can all talk about the same material. It's accessible to everybody.
My brain is just kind of going along because, you know, I'm thinking about.
Try to paralyze.
Oh, I'm a literacy fiend.
Oh, is that
man, if you can't read, you can't do anything.
Exactly.
So this is so critical. I'm thinking about people who are incarcerated who can't really read, who would benefit so beautifully from this on so many different levels. Like you can start them out at a lower level. So, I mean, this could be an amazing
Yvonne,
gift.
we think that there are many different applications. As an example, some that have already happened. We have a school in Madison, Tennessee, in our academy there. They decided this summer to make it the VBS. They crafted it and made it a VBS program.
Yes.
Sabbath schools.
Yes.
Sabbath schools or even Sunday schools, if they're right, you know. This could be used in a church Sabbath program very nicely. So we think that there are many different things. Now that the core is done, that's why I've been telling Sandy, okay, the core is going to get done, but boy, you're going to be amazed at what God does.
He's giving one piece at a time. Now that the core is done, we're doing the second wave of the core. I'm already writing more curriculum. And one thing we forgot to tell them, too, was about the international appeal.
That's right.
You know, I was at ASDASA, where you have administrators of education, and I met some people from Germany, and they became so excited that they asked us to do this in German. And so we did the 3rd and 4th grade level, and I presented this online to Bogenhofen University in Austria to the education majors. So when the education majors in Austria get out into the field, that's what they're going to be doing is 3 angels.
That's great.
And Baden-Württemberg conference?
Württemberg, I think that's right. I won't try to figure that one out.
So it's going international, which worldwide. Take the 3 angels' messages into all the world. Jesus said, go ye into all the world. Now the only enemy we have here today is the clock. And so what I want to do, now we've done thousands of programs, but it's not fair of you two to come in and tell us this great stories without telling us how we can participate.
Okay.
So we need a
Sandy,
couple
go
minutes
for it.
or so. Tell us
Okay.
how all of our viewers, and we can all help you. with
Yes, please go to our website, 3angelsforkids.com, and you want to scroll down on that first page and you want to subscribe to the website. So then anytime we put out something new, you will be in the know. If you click on shop, you will see all of our resources there, and you'll see the grade levels on the left side, and you just go to your grade level. And very soon we'll have our special homeschool button on there. So you want to go right to 3angelsforkids.com. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/3angelsforkids, Facebook.com/3angelsforkids. We post things there as those things are happening, and we also have classes on Hope Lives 365 BibleStudy.com for children. So there's a lot going on. So you want to be sure to subscribe to the website. You want to be sure to get over to our Facebook page and look at those classes on Hope Lives 365. We also have a free week of prayer videos under the resources on our 3angelsforkids.com website.
Now, I just want to say, she recorded a complete week of prayer. That any school can use those videos for a week of prayer on the Three Angels messages.
Good.
Thank you for reminding me.
Our
lower
time
grades
is just
and
about
upper
gone.
grades.
We're going to go to news break in a minute. We'll come back with a closing thought. But if there's one, I have one suggestion, because I still want to help some more, and I like all of this. But do you have a donate button on that website? If you don't,
need to do that.
We need to put the donate
if you don't,
button
you
on.
need a donate button, because I know our viewers, and when they get behind something, it's in a big way.
Okay.
So I believe we have.
You know, I think
tremendous
that
amount of
might be
people.
happening real soon, Danny. Thank you. This was a takeaway from 3ABN today.
There you go. Thank you.
Absolutely. Donate. I'm happy about all this, but I want to donate. How do I do it? So on that website, we'll be able to do it. So listen, thank you so much, both of you, for coming. And Dan, you've been for many, many years and going back, and glad Karen got to see her today too. But we're going to just take what we're going to do is take a little news break, a little short break, but we'll be back for a closing thought.
If you would like more information about Heart Research Center, you can write to them at Post Office Box 2377, Fallbrook, California 92088. That's Heart Research Center, Post Office Box 2377, Fallbrook, California 92088. You can call them at 760-723-8082. That's 760-723-8082. Or you can find them online at 3angelsforkids.com. That's written out in letters 3angelsforkids.com.
Yvonne, I can't believe our time this has been an hour. It's almost
Oh,
gone.
it flew by.
It did.
It really
Absolutely.
flew by. Yeah.
We're so thankful, Dan Houghton, and to have you here. But Sandra, to have you here, Dr. Sandra,
Yes.
God has been working you overtime.
That's right.
I mean, this is
Beautiful.
an amazing amount of work, because we know we do a little writing, but it sounds like that the Lord has blessed you tremendously with your gifts. Any closing thought for our viewers at home?
Yeah, just please come and get to know us. And if you come to our website, 3angelsforkids.com, you'll see a contact form on there. And if you fill that contact form out, we will see that, and whatever questions you have or more information, or if you'd like us to do a training for your organization, we're happy to do that. My associate Yvette Cooper and myself just love to do trainings, and she has taught all of the units in her own classroom, so she has the hands-on experience with it. So come on over, get to know us, send us a contact form.
Dan?
Danny, I just want to say I believe that God's hand has been with us. I can't explain it any other way. And I am, again, so thrilled and so happy. And I just want to challenge you to get a pair of happy socks. All right?
Show them one more time.
All right.
Take it out, raise the pant leg up.
This is the happy sock,
Get
okay?
a shot and see if I can do it or not.
Danny's.
Oh, there you go.
They have
a good
really loud ones.
Yeah.
But this is a happy time.
Okay, it is.
Because we are about to fulfill what God has said we need to do, and that is to take the three angels' messages to the world for our kids all the way to the end. So that's my heart, and thank you for letting us come on today.
Absolutely. Thank you both. And God bless you. We're here. Anything you need, we can help you with. So I'm sure this won't be the last program. We'd love to have you as things progress. And you get that donate button on that website, okay? Because right now, a lot of viewers are wanting to support. And so they're going to find out. They're going to go to your website, and they'll ask you how they can do it.
Good.
I hate to say this, but Yvonne, but our time is all gone for today. So until we see you next time, may the Lord richly bless you abundantly more than you could ever ask or think.